I want to tell you a story about a magical room that inspired me to become an architect. Imagine entering through a door and finding yourself in a room completely enclosed in wood, apart from two big windows right opposite you. So everything around, along all the walls, is wood, from the floor to the ceiling. And in this big mass of wood that hugs you as you enter, you can find desks, cabinets, shelves, and boxes, really big boxes. Boxes that are big enough for you to enter. And they are there for you to enter, because they're actually beds. Now this room is one of many such rooms in a wonderful place called Red Cross Nordic United World College, in the middle of beautiful Norwegian nature, on a campus where I spent 2 years as a high school student. It's a very lively place. 200 students on a campus, 30 teachers also living on the campus. The amount of interaction that goes on every day is amazing. It's mind-blowing, it's heart-blowing, in the good sense, but also in the sense that makes you want to have some privacy. Sometimes you get it by walking in the nature, but sometimes you need an enclosed space of your own. And we were really fortunate that the architect who designed the Nordic College thought of that, or at least it seems that he thought of that when he designed those wooden boxes in the room. Those bed boxes, those niches in a hole in a tree, they were magical places that you could enter and retire to at the end of the day, but also at any other time when you needed to be alone with yourself, your mind, your heart, your body. And at that point, you could just pull the curtain on, turn on the light, or just enjoy the dark and be with yourself in this basic unit of space, in this corner of the universe that you had for yourself, that you could really claim for your peace and well-being. And then when you would go out of your niche, your house, your bed, you would actually have the experience of leaving a house for entering a house of sharing. So this room that wasn't that big, it had those little houses for 5 people, for 5 roommates, and it also had a big hall, as it were, for socializing, studying, playing games, just talking to each other. Such richness and such an important element of well-being, with just a few design decisions. That was really inspiring to start doing architecture as a discipline that creates atmospheres for building human relationships and interactions and well-being, and not just only for, function and aesthetics and structure. And later on, as I were studying different authors, architects who had theories and insights about how to design well, I came upon a guy called Hans van der Laan, who was exactly talking about this in his theories of proportion. Proportion that is not a matter of aesthetics, proportion that is a matter of balance in life. So little cells of our own that we had, and the whole of the room made sense, in the sense of proportions that navigate and balance the interaction that we have with the world. Another thing that I discovered later on as I was studying how to make spaces where people would feel more connected with the natural environment was biophilia. Now, biophilia says that we need contact with natural material, natural forms or nature-inspired forms, and with living beings in order to feel well. Now this is evolutionary, it really makes sense. We are hardwired in that way. So being in a room that was made of wood, that was magical, because it connected me with nature, and it made me reminded every day, hundreds of times, that I was also a part of nature, that I enjoyed being a part of nature. There was no way I could just see nature as something to exploit, because I was there feeling the connection with it, how special it was. And the interior of that room, full of wood, was just so connected with the surrounding nature, the forest. It was as if the room was a step towards the forest. A magical way of living. A magical way of taking care of people and the planet at the same time, with just a few design decisions. So it is my wish that all the people, all the children in schools, everyone in their office spaces and their workspaces of all kinds, and the spaces that they share with their families, with their neighbors, with the wider communities, would have these kinds of opportunities. And that all architects and all designers would be aware of how important it is to make these kinds of design decisions. And that all the stakeholders in all the schools, not only United World Colleges, would be aware of that when they make decisions about how to shape the spaces where children will learn the basics about what it means to live on this planet with other people.